What's one of our favorite getaway destinations? Yep, California. No theme park today, though. We're going to the biggest presidential library in America and touring every nook and cranny, including a walkthrough of Air Force One.
But first, we're going to brunch in someone's backyard in Santa Ana.
So get ready, because this adventure starts right now.
Sunrise in Las Vegas, and we're on a flight west to California for a couple of fresh new adventures we haven't ever done on our channel before. Tell you what, whenever we are airborne, it really strikes us how this city has spread and sprawled, and there's no sign of stopping anytime soon. All right, my friends, we'll see you when we land. Who's up for a little brunch? We're in Orange County, California, on a lovely corner in Santa Ana.
Well, my friends, we are at the Benchmark. We came here for one very, very special reason. My cousin owns this place. It's a 5-star restaurant right here in California. We are going to go in, have some dinner, see how it is. I don't know if we can film in there, but I just wanted you to see that we are there at the Benchmark. If we can, we'll see you inside.
Benchmark is a surprising and unique concept from proprietors Dwayne and Pedro, partners from opposite ends of North America, but united in their passion for hospitality and how food brings people together.
Good afternoon. It is noontime on a beautiful Sunday in Santa Ana. I can't even believe we're doing something so unique. We are in a neighborhood of beautiful old vintage homes and beautiful shade trees. It's like we're in somebody's backyard patio, and we are going to have brunch. It's awesome.
What do you got there?
This is a mimosa with a little bit of cranberry, a little bit of orange, a little bit of champagne. I ordered what Pedro recommended, which is their dulce de leche French toast, and Dale got a burger.
Well, my friends, the non-alcoholic drink here is something that they just make off the cuff, and it's just, this is a mocktail. It's just full of fruit. It's got a little lemon. It's got a little mint on top. Let me give it a try here. Look, if you can see, it's just got fruit all over the place. It's just full of fruit. I don't know what the froth is on top, but oh, that is delicious. Absolutely delicious. The mocktail here at Benchmark.
The restaurant is a tree-shaded atrium that looks like, and actually is, somebody's backyard. But this compact and charming space has all the requirements for success. A kitchen preparing dishes that feature local products and change with the seasons. And a full bar offering regional wines and local craft beers.
Well, I got the hamburger. This was recommended by Pedro. And let me take a bite right now. Oh. Wow. Oh. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Look at that. It has got so many ingredients. It's got bacon, cheese. I have to look at all the ingredients. It's got a lot of ingredients. The only thing I didn't get on it was the aioli sauce. And these are Parmesan fries. Fresh made, right here. One more bite.
Check out this work of art. Oh my gosh, it has two beautiful baby pansies on it. This French toast looks so decadent, I won't eat the whole rest of the day. It is absolutely a work of art. I can't wait to dig in. Let me set my plate down. I haven't even unwrapped my silverware yet. I'm just agog. You know what a foodie I am. I just love new adventures, and this is a new adventure for sure. All right, digging in with a little bite of my French toast. I'm going to grab a little whipped cream. I'm going to grab a slice of banana. How's that for a mouthful? Check that out. Sweet heaven. That's fantastic, and I am going to enjoy every morsel. Fabulous.
As soon as our plates were cleared away, this showed up. Benchmark's famous brown butter cake, and it was on the house. Thank you to Dwayne and Pedro for your hospitality, and I'll tell you what, my friends, we will be back. Benchmark celebrates its 5th anniversary this spring. They're open Wednesday to Sunday for dinner and for brunch on weekends. Orange County locals, check them out. Buckle up your seatbelts, my friends, because we are going to drive 1.5 hours from the Benchmark in Orange County to the Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley. We are on a hilltop in Simi, California, about 40 miles northwest of LA, and we're here to visit the largest and one of the most visited of American presidential libraries. The Ronald Reagan Presidential Library was dedicated in 1991 with a Spanish mission design that the president enthusiastically approved. It reminded him of his western White House, Rancho del Cielo, which is just north of here. Reagan's love of all things Western, particularly horseback riding, is legendary, so this statue at the entrance is very fitting. The library is 150,000 square feet and not only serves as a museum to the life and times of Ronald Reagan, it also houses millions of documents, photos, films, and tapes from his presidency and his time as California's governor. The museum is arranged more or less in chronological order, beginning with Ronald Reagan's childhood, school days and sports, and the beginnings of a career in show business. By the late 1930s, he was under contract with Warner Brothers and played Newt Rockne in 1940, where he earned the nickname The Gipper. All told, he made more than 50 films in his career. Fast forward to 1966, and the man who called himself an ordinary citizen ended up running for governor of California and winning. His message resonated with the population at the time, and he served 2 terms. Moving through the library as we move through time, in 1980, Reagan ran for the presidency and won. This display details the beginning of his presidency. Problems the country faced at the time, and artifacts like the outfits worn on Inauguration Day.
My fellow Americans, don't forget to watch Las Vegas Inside Out.
Next on the journey is a small room that chronicles the assassination attempt on President Reagan in March 1981. 3 others were wounded that day as well. Like most presidential libraries, this one contains a full-scale replica of the Oval Office in the White House. This version is unique in that the floor had to be recessed below ground so that the accurate ceiling height would fit under the roofline of the building. This is a large gallery devoted to First Lady Nancy Reagan, who met her husband while they were both actors. She was an active force while in public service, and her accomplishments are many. She is remembered for her advocacy towards children and the war on drugs.
Turned the fight against drug abuse into a national crusade. She mobilized the American people, and I'm mighty proud of her.
On display are more than 80 of the dresses she wore during her 8 years as First Lady. The legendary close relationship between President and Mrs. Reagan that spanned 50 years is highlighted here as well.
Thank you for just being you.
I think they both found in each other the missing part.
Next up, we get a glimpse into life in the White House. By the way, my friends, the library was funded totally by private donations, a cost of $60 million at the time. President Reagan's famous daily diaries are highlighted here, and you can purchase a copy in the gift shop. Display cases contain mementos of holiday celebrations, state dinners, and this wall is a montage of the Reagan's travels abroad. In 2005, thanks to more donations, the exhibit hangar known as Air Force One Pavilion was added to the museum. The 90,000 square foot space was built to house this SAM-27,000, the plane used to transport 7 American presidents during its service life. When it was retired in 2001, Boeing disassembled it at nearby San Bernardino Airport, transported it in pieces, and rebuilt it right here. It sits on pedestals 25 feet off the ground. Stepping inside the aircraft, we take a peek at the cockpit on our left. From 1973 to 2001, this technology kept presidents in touch and in command. There's a tiny kitchen. The Reagan's cabin. and an in-flight office for the president. The day we visited, we were told that the library was expecting 3,000 visitors.
Wonderful. Any day with Ronnie and Nancy is a good day.
I agree. We haven't been here in too many years, and I'm like, my heart is full ever since we got on the grounds.
We like the trademark jelly beans on the table.
I don't know whether you've been told so far, but 7 American presidents flew in this very airplane. So we're talking about Ford, Nixon and Ford, and then Carter, Reagan, Bush 41, Clinton, and Bush 43 all flew in this very airplane. It turns out that on the 7th of November, 1987, President Reagan and Mrs. Reagan arrived in this airplane at Tempelhof Airport in Berlin, and the next day he went over to the Brandenburg Gate and he made the speech.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Now, the chocolate cake represents the cake that President Reagan always wanted to have on board, usually a sheet cake. And in case anyone had a birthday, anniversary, or anything to celebrate.
This area was for the press corps that traveled with the president.
I'm pressed today.
You press?
I'm pressed.
Okay. I'm impressed that you're pressed.
In addition to Air Force One, the hangar is also home to Marine One, a presidential helicopter from the Lyndon Johnson era. There is a representation of the presidential's motorcade with several vehicles as they would have appeared. This is the president's parade limousine circa 1984. Followed by an LAPD escort in a Chevy Silverado. Plus, the pavilion is used for banquets and large events, literally under the wheels of the aircraft. Talk about atmosphere. But maybe the most unusual item in here is this: the original O'Farrell's pub from Ireland. The Reagans visited the pub near the president's ancestral home in 1984. When it closed several years later, the whole thing was crated up and sent right here. It's all authentic and it's great. The museum continues with this chilling welcome and one of President Reagan's most notable accomplishments, the end of the Berlin Wall. A segment of the wall is outside. We'll see that shortly. Video clips play depicting communist regimes across the world, and photos of those leaders line the walls. Turnaround and other displays describe President Reagan's efforts to build communication with the Soviets and foster peace. I have always liked this quote, and I think the guy knew what he was talking about. This room shows the president taking a break at his ranch up near Santa Barbara. And at Camp David in Maryland. After he left office, Ronald Reagan continued to receive honors and accolades for his accomplishments.
My fellow Americans, I have recently been told that I am one of the millions of Americans
who will be afflicted with Alzheimer's disease. I plan to enjoy the great outdoors and stay in touch with my friends and supporters. In closing, let me thank you, the American people, for giving me the great honor of allowing me to serve as your president. I now begin the journey that will lead me into the sunset of my life. I know that for America, there will always be a bright dawn ahead. Thank you, my friends. May God always bless you.
10 years later, in 2004, President Ronald Reagan passed away. This room commemorates that occasion with photos, tributes, and artifacts from the funeral events. Back outdoors into the sunshine, the path takes us to a replica of the White House South Lawn. Here is that segment of the Berlin Wall we mentioned earlier. And off to the right, the museum store and a lively indoor-outdoor cafe appropriately called the Gipper's Bar and Bistro. From this lofty hilltop, you can see for miles across Reagan's beloved California. It's a fitting spot for a final resting place. And here is the gravesite for Ronald Reagan and his wife Nancy, who passed away 12 years after he did. A solemn spot, but the quote is as optimistic as he always was.
Well, my friends, if you've never been to the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, I'm telling you what, it's an amazing place to visit. And I really hope that we did it justice in our little video here.
Ditto. I hope we did as well. It is a beautiful facility, and you really feel incredibly patriotic and proud. It is a big slice of Americana in there, regardless of what your politics are.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, it is one of only 15 presidential libraries. This is a fairly recent thing. It started kind of in the mid-20th century. And it is, although it is the largest, it is only number 2 in terms of visitation. FDR edges it out.
Yeah, the one in New York. But I'll tell you what, this one is the biggest in volume, but the one that Clinton has is the biggest in documents.
Yeah, the Clinton Library actually has more millions of documents than the Reagan. But whichever one you go to, I think you will really feel the pride. And in fact, they are run by the National Archives, but the National Archives website makes sure that you know that these facilities and everything in them belong to the American people.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, when you're in there, you feel it.
You do.
It's such a great experience. And there's so many little things that we didn't show you that you can do. That me standing in front of that podium, anybody can go and stand in front of that podium. They also have another area where you can actually do a radio broadcast. It's just an amazing, fun place. Good for kids too, because I tell you what, walking around that airplane's a ball.
And in fact, you get a free picture in front of Air Force One as you're standing up just going in the door. And that's included in admission, I think. So anyway, one more thing we want to mention about the Reagan Library in particular, and that is their rotating exhibits.
Yeah. They actually did a Disney exhibit that we were at, and we also went to the World War II exhibit. But what just closed here, I think it was last Sunday.
Last week.
Yeah, it was the Holocaust exhibit. Now, did they have something else coming up?
They actually do. On March 15th, this is going to be a really fun one for Star Wars fans. It's going to be the Strategic Defense Initiative from the Reagan era, paired with Star Wars memorabilia. How fun. And these usually last for months. So there's a great opportunity to catch these if you happen to go
And
live.
Honestly, I don't know. Are they separate admission prices?
No, it's all inclusive.
Yeah, so if you come to see the exhibit, you get to see the whole library as well, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So, folks, one more thing. Let's talk about Benchmark for a minute.
What an amazing restaurant. I'll tell you, my cousin, it was so great seeing him again. I hadn't seen him in years, and it was all open arms the whole entire time we were there. And you know what? They didn't charge us a dime for anything.
No, we didn't say that in the video, but actually there was no bill. And in case you need clarification, Dwayne is his cousin, not Pedro. But yeah, just a super great guy, super accomplished in life. And they have a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful little backyard restaurant. We can't wait to go back.
They are both amazing people. And my cousin also runs a catering business.
That's right. Colette's Catering over there in California. Caterers to the stars.
Absolutely. All right. I hope you had a good time. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.